the coronavirus vaccine. What is the friggin' holdup? In this video, I'm going to be answering questions like when a vaccine might be available, if it's going to be safe, and if it's going to be effective. So by the end of this video, you'll have some idea of how much longer we're going to be doing those awkward elbow fist bump greetings. COVID-19 ruined a lot of things, and no matter what plans you had, I'm certain the coronavirus screwed you over royally. I mean, no one was expecting a global pandemic to just come out of nowhere, forcing everybody to lose their jobs, lock themselves indoors, stop all travel, stop socializing, and basically forcing people to just walk their own streets repeatedly.
You get sick of walking the same streets. You know, I've done all of Bright.
The solution to this problem, and something that might be able to get us back to a semi-normal life, would be a coronavirus vaccine, something that protects us from catching and spreading this potentially deadly disease. Now, I can tell you that there's over 100 different scientific teams around the world working on a vaccine against the SARS-CoV-2 virus. And it's because there's so much money being thrown at this disease right now, and it's such a big problem. Everyone's trying to solve it. With all of these different vaccine options, why don't we have one yet?
That's a good question.
Well, statistically, a vaccine normally takes 10 years to be developed, going from an idea on a piece of paper, through trials and testing for safety and efficacy, to an actual drug on the market. That normally takes 10 years. But for this COVID-19 vaccine, people want it now. People want it ASAP. It's being fast-tracked, and it's only been 6 months, and people want it by the end of the year. Furthermore, 94% of vaccines that go through testing never actually make it to market because they're deemed unsafe or ineffective. So hopefully some of the vaccines that are getting worked on now actually get the job done. A vaccine being developed in Oxford in the United Kingdom has just been tested in over 1,000 patients, and it's been shown to produce a strong immune response, producing antibodies and killer T cells specific for COVID-19. So theoretically, those vaccinated should now be immune to COVID-19, although there's no way to be certain of that short of throwing the virus at them, which we're not going to do because that's not ethical.
We don't do that.
What we're doing right now is phase 3 trials of that same vaccine in South Africa. This should give us a better idea of how well the vaccine protects against the virus. Another vaccine being developed in Wuhan, China is also being tested, showing similar results, and it's currently undergoing phase 3 trials in Brazil, another place where the virus is still rampant. So to get an idea of when this vaccine will be available, 3 things still need to happen. 1, we need to make sure that the vaccine is safe and effective in phase 3 clinical trials, which is currently happening in several countries around the world. Once it's proven to be safe and effective, the second thing that needs to happen is we need to produce large quantities of it. Billions and billions of doses of this vaccine so that everybody around the world can be immunized and protected against this virus. And that large-scale production is going to take time. And thirdly, the vaccine needs to be approved. It's being fast-tracked. Normally vaccines take 10 years to produce. This one has only taken 6 months right now. So we need to make certain that the vaccine is definitely safe and effective before we go injecting it into the entire human population. Once those 3 things have happened, the vaccine will be released, and that could be anywhere from a couple of months to a couple of years from now. Keeping all of this in mind, it's my opinion that this vaccine will be available around Christmas time. If you're really lucky, you might get the coronavirus vaccine under your Christmas tree. A little Christmas gift. Immunization and protection against the coronavirus. That's what you're hoping for Christmas this year. It could happen sooner than that. If the phase 3 clinical trials go really well and the fast tracking is super effective, we could have an effective vaccine on the market in the next few months. But if something goes wrong in phase 3 clinical trials, it could be held back and it might not be available till sometime next year or even later. It's really hard to tell at this stage. But my prediction is that the coronavirus vaccine will be available just before Christmas, so you can get yourself and your family a nice Christmas present. Merry Christmas. Is the coronavirus vaccine going to be safe? Well, let me put it this way. There is no way that they would release the vaccine to market if it wasn't safe. If you think that the coronavirus vaccine could give you coronavirus, that's impossible. The vaccine cannot give you the disease. It might have some small effects, a sore arm, might give you a headache, but I can tell you that those little side effects are a lot better than catching the disease. As for long-term effects, something that could happen months or years after getting the vaccine, well look, they're really unlikely, but we don't know. Because this vaccine is being fast-tracked, it's hard to say whether there will be any long-term effects. We can't test for those. Chances are there probably won't be, but that is a risk you need to consider before getting the vaccine. As for effectiveness, it's important to know that vaccines aren't always 100% effective. We don't know how effective this vaccine will be, but there might be a very slight chance that even if you have been vaccinated, you could still get the virus. But you're a lot less likely to catch coronavirus if you've had the vaccine than if you hadn't had the vaccine. So do the smart thing, and when the vaccine does come out, you should probably get it. In conclusion, vaccines are being made, a lot of them, and most of them won't work, but some of them will. And in the next 6 months or so, those vaccines are going to be fast-tracked and produced and spread to the market around the world so that you and your friends and your family and those people that you see on the street can all get vaccinated and protected against this virus so you can't catch the disease and you can't spread it to other people. And once these vaccinations start getting released, then we can start to go back to a normal life, go back to working, socializing, education, whatever it is that you're missing right now, it's going to be coming back real soon. I'm predicting around Christmas time, but it's really hard to know. We'll just have to wait and see. But until then, be smart, keep social distancing, stay at home, play it safe, and keep watching The Traveling Scientist for more science every single week. I'll see you guys next Science Sunday. Cheers.